Exchange programs in CUC are always popular among students, while there are also a lot of uncertainties. What do students need to do to strike a successful application? Is life in foreign countries the same as what they expected? In the class of foreign expert Paul, there are always laughter and applause. He teaches the lessons not only by reading, but also by singing, reciting, and acting. He's a person that welcomes changes in life. Those stories tonight on CUC Newsline. Welcome to this edition of CUC Newsline, a news magazine airing twice a month. I'm Ming Rui. As CUC continues its efforts in improving research and education, the Department of Teaching Affairs Office hosts a forum on developing internship bases. There are also student activities. The fourth Debating CUC competition reveals its winner, and the wind of Spring Fiesta animation sweeps the campus. More details on review.
A ceremony was held on May the 16th to mark the founding of an organization dedicated to study on improving China's public image. The China Institute for International Communication Strategy, CIICS, is co-sponsored by the Chinese People's Institute of Foreign Affairs, CPIFA, and Communication University of China. CPIFA Vice President Lu Shuming opened the ceremony with an analysis of the background for the institute's foundation. CUC President Su Zhiwu also gave a speech about his expectations. The institute is dedicated to research in public diplomacy, promotion of culture, art, and media relations. CUC Teaching Affairs Department has held a discussion forum for the development of CUC's teaching and research internship base. Department head Zhang Yuhua hosted the forum and welcomed delegates from 22 broadcast stations like CCTV, BTV, and Phoenix TV, etc. Vice President Hu Zhengrong expressed his gratitude for the great benefits these spaces have offered and also his wishes for further collaboration. In order to establish a closer tie between the industry and university education, CUC has invited 45 experts in the industries to become internship tutors. During the two-day forum, representatives also exchanged ideas on measures to further strengthen the development of internship bases. The photographic exhibition City's Face have been on display on Confucius Square since May the 14th. 4 major students from year 2010 in the School of Television and Journalism and exchange students from Shandong University worked hard pulling it together. A total of 176 pictures appeared on the exhibition to mark 4 different themes: Beijing Spirit, City's Wound, Imaging CUC, and World in People's Eyes. The aim is to view the world and to record the changes of the society through a camera. The supervising professor Liu Jian also expressed his wishes that the exhibition could wake up CUC students' conscience and sense of duty as citizens. After 1 month's heated debating sessions on campus, the 4th debating competition of CUC came to its final on May the 16th. The motion for the day was whether lowering the public transportation ticket fee can ease traffic congestion in the city. Department of Television from School of Television and Journalism got the first title as the negative side, while the affirmative side, School of Advertisement, won the runner-up. Liao Jiachen, the affirmative 4, won the best debater. The second Spring Fiesta animation show took place on the night of May the 19th in CUC. Brilliant cosplay shows performed by CUC students wowed the audience and won waves of roars. With the development of Chinese animation, more Chinese cartoon elements have appeared on stage this year. The Spring Fiesta show was co-founded by CUC Club Union and Animation Club TRY in 2010. Since then, it has been very influential among universities and colleges in Beijing. The great success of the show also promotes CUC's leading position of his animation major.
As CUC picks up its pace in linking up with the world, it provides students a lot of opportunities to study in foreign countries. Recently, School of International Education has come to its busiest days. Students are entering the last stage of their application to exchange programs. However, not all of them are prepared for the difficulties and challenges that lie ahead of them. Our reporters Xu Yu, Zhu Ling, and Lei Yang have the story.
To study and live on a Western campus like this used to be only a dream for common students. Now, as CUC offers more exchange programs each year, applying to study abroad has become a rave among students. Yet sometimes, their enthusiasm just meets with cold water.
My application for Fujian Catholic University was declined last year because I didn't have a language score and it requires a 3.7 GPA.
This semester, we have 24 programs in total. The most popular program is Fujian Catholic University. Almost 100 students applied for it, but the university only accepts 2.
Moreover, the complicated applying process frustrates students all the time.
All of our classmates will go to Brazil next year, and I don't know why it is so complicated. We carried 4 bags of materials and a large envelope filled with 40,000 yuan, which is only one step of the total process.
Western and Chinese universities have many differences in their education system. Although students may take less courses abroad, they have to study harder to meet with academic requirements.
One of my classmates did a bad presentation, and the professor just said it was rubbish, which made us uncomfortable.
Students in Western countries are more diversified in their cultural background and ways of living, so sometimes one can also run into a classmate that is dangerous.
One of our roommates was arrested by the police because he kept drugs illegally. We have to learn how to protect ourselves. Learning to be strong is necessary for all the exchange students.
Even after the students return from their stay abroad, there still remains the problem of transferring credits.
After I went back from America, transferring credits became my biggest trouble. I was kicked like a ball between the academic administration and the School of International Studies.
Facing all these problems, teachers and students have offered various suggestions to increase the rate of successful application. English ability is of vital importance.
Last winter vacation, I took the exam of the IELTS. Then I applied for the Uppsala University, and I was finally accepted.
Students need to have a high GPA. What's more, language level is also an important standard when we select students. An English score is necessary. Like in Taiwan, several courses are taught in English.
And the applicant need to be determined and work hard toward the goal.
Next semester, I will go to Sweden. I know what I want. As long as we study systematically, I don't think there's a problem. I don't know how much trouble will be the whole English teaching atmosphere will bring to me, but no matter how big this challenge is, nothing can change my mind.
For some students, besides the English transcript they get for the course they've taken, they also harvest a rich and colorful life experience in foreign countries.
Welcome to Australia. Welcome to Addis Common University. 欢迎您来到 ECU.
Xin Zhenghang even made a 14-episode documentary called Pool Student Travels Around the World to offer tips and advice to foreign tourists traveling in Australia.
In his students' eyes, Paul is a typical British man and a strict English teacher. Resigning the position as a manager, he came to China to explore a different kind of life in class. He could recite long excerpts of Shakespeare's play impromptu. In his daily life, he is a vegetarian and a lover of performance. Our correspondent Zhou Ziyi approaches the life of the foreign teacher, Paul.
If you walk the stairway in the number 48 building for classes, You may run into a foreigner who climbs with his laptop to the 9th floor of the building. Sometimes he hums a happy song. Different from those who go to the stairs when the elevator is full, he does so as a routine exercise. Paul has worked as a foreign expert in CUC for more than 4 years. He teaches such courses as spoken English, listening, and English literature. He impresses English major students as a humorous, responsible, and strict teacher.
Well, my impression about Paul, I think, is a typical British. He's very serious, and sometimes he has this kind of British humor.
I think Paul is a very responsible person. Once we invigilated an examination together, and he told me to pay attention to students' drawer to prevent them from cheating. I was surprised that a foreign teacher could be so careful and responsible.
In his friends' eyes, he's just what a typical Englishman is like.
And I think my first impressions of Paul that he's quite reserved. So I'd like to get to know him better. But I get the impression that underneath that reserve, that he's led a very, very interesting life. And I think he's done a lot, but he's not necessarily the sort of person that's going to come out and just tell you it straight away. I think it takes time.
During his 8 years in China, he has traveled to a lot of places. And finally, he chose to settle down in Beijing.
Although I've been in Beijing mainly, when I first came to China, I went to Hubei, and I stayed there. Yeah, Wudanshan is the place that was near to where I was, and I had a job there for a few months. Then I went to
Also being a teacher.
That's right. Yeah, that was my first teaching job. And then I went to Neimangu. I was going to work in a school there.
Encouraged by some Chinese friends he met in London, he gave up a stable life to try a different life in an Eastern country.
I left a good job in England to come to China, but I don't regret it, because I have enjoyed the new experience. Yeah, and if you're working in a country distant from your own, you get a different perspective of your own country.
Though teaching is not his childhood dream, he became a teacher in China and holds a great passion for this profession. To him, teaching gives him great enjoyment. His vocal performances in the class often make the classroom full of laughter and applause. He contributes this ability to his experience as a full-time entertainer.
And then this one, a performance from an American playwright's play called A View from the Bridge. And I was one of these police officers who was trying to detain them, arrest them for being illegal immigrants.
Even after Paul came to China, his passion for acting never changes. He played as a priest in the drama Romeo and Juliet in China. He even appeared in a Chinese movie, Beginning of the Great Revival.
I did have a little part in one of the movies that was celebrating the 60th birthday of the Communist Party in China. That was, I forget the name of the movie actually. But it was one or two very famous Chinese actors who were taking part. That's right, yeah, that's right.
Paul might have developed a love for performance and interest in literature in his hometown Bath. It is an Asian cultural city that often appears in the works of Jane Austen and Charles Dickens. Shakespeare is one of his favorite writers. He could even recite long passages of Shakespeare's work.
Now is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by this sun of yore, and all the clouds that lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried.
For a person who loves to try new things, traveling is also an indispensable part of his life.
Mostly in Europe. I mean, last summer I went to Italy, so recently I've been to New York and went to Australia.
To Paul, life is full of interesting things. He tried different jobs, played different hobbies, and traveled a lot of places. And now he wants to make China his last stop.
I think, I've settled on something which suits me. That's right, yeah. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
Thanks for watching. We will be back next semester. For more information, please visit our microblog. I'm Mingrui. See you next time.